There's a moment every man experiences but rarely understands. That strange shift when a woman goes quiet, yet you can't shake the feeling that she's thinking about you more than ever. And the truth is, you're not imagining it. You need to hear this because most men completely misread the signs. They think a woman only thinks about them when she texts, calls, or gives obvious attention. But that's not how female psychology works. A woman often thinks about you most intensely in silence, in distance, in moments when she tells herself she's moved on, but something in her won't let go. And if you've been sensing her energy even when she's not around, there's a reason for that because she hasn't stopped thinking about you. Men notice actions, women feel patterns. And when a woman's emotional system gets activated by a man, she doesn't express it directly. She leaks it. It shows up in tiny changes in behavior, little slips she wishes she could hide, impulses she doesn't understand. She won't say, "I miss you." She won't admit, "I can't stop thinking about him." Instead, she does things that look small but are emotional earthquakes under the surface. If you want to know whether she's been thinking about you nonstop, there's one truth you have to understand first. A woman's mind doesn't get stuck on a man because of words, looks, or charm. She gets stuck on a feeling she can't replace, a feeling she can't duplicate, a feeling that makes her compare every man after you to the way she felt when she was with you. And if you triggered that emotional blueprint in her intentionally or not, she will keep circling back to you in her mind, like a song she can't stop replaying even when she wants to, even when she tries not to, even when she tells her friend she's done. The signs she's thinking about you are not obvious. They're not loud. They're not dramatic. They're subtle, instinctive, and deeply human. But once you learn them, you will never look at her silence the same way again. Because here's the part no one tells men. When a woman is emotionally activated by you, she doesn't reach out first. She observes. She analyzes. Why her silence means she's thinking of you. Checks small things about you without letting you know. She remembers your patterns. She replays old conversations. She stalks your energy long before she stalks your social media. She won't risk looking desperate. She won't risk being rejected. So, she thinks and thinks and thinks. And that thinking becomes obsession when she realizes something terrifying. She felt safe with you in a way she doesn't feel with other men. Not safe like protection. Safe like understood, seen, felt as if you unlocked a part of her she didn't know she had. When a woman feels that, she doesn't forget easily. She doesn't detach quickly, and she doesn't stop thinking about you. Overnight, even if she walks away, her mind stays with you long after her feet leave. That's how women operate emotionally. Her distance means nothing. The silence means nothing. The lack of messages means nothing. What matters is what she's doing when you're not watching. And when a woman is thinking about you nonstop, her behavior gives her away. Even when she tries to hide it, even when she lies to herself about it, you're about to understand those signs in a way most men never do. There's a specific moment in a woman's mind when she starts thinking about you nonstop, and it rarely begins with something dramatic. It's usually something small, something you wouldn't even notice, a word you said, a look you gave, a moment where she felt something she didn't expect to feel, and it lingers in her. At first, she tries to ignore it. She tells herself it's nothing, that she's just overthinking, but the truth is that small moment becomes the spark that keeps replaying. In her head, long after the conversation ends, a woman can pretend she's unaffected on the outside, but inside she's scanning every memory with you for meaning. She'll catch herself smiling at a message you sent days ago. She'll hear your voice when she's trying to fall asleep. She'll replay the joke you made, the way you looked at her, or the tone you used when you said her name. And she won't admit it, not even to her closest friends. But the emotional imprint is already locked in. And that imprint grows stronger the more she tries to deny it. This is where her behavior begins to shift in ways she can't explain. She might check your social media without interacting with anything. She might go silent for a while, not because she's losing interest, but because she's overwhelmed by how much she's thinking about you. Women often withdraw when their emotions start feeling too real, too fast, or too risky. So, if she suddenly pulls back, don't assume she's losing interest. Many times she's trying to hide just how deeply she's gotten attached to the idea of you. Watch her patterns. When a woman's subtle behaviors, she can't hide. Thinks about you nonstop. She starts showing up in places you wouldn't expect. She might watch your stories at odd hours. She may reappear after being distant. She might send a message that seems small but required courage on her part. She might ask about things you mentioned once, demonstrating that she wasn't just listening, she was absorbing everything. One of the biggest signs is emotional displacement. She'll get irritated at things that never bothered her before. She'll act colder or more guarded in person. She might behave unpredictably without even knowing why. This is because thinking about you constantly makes her feel vulnerable. And vulnerability is something many women try to mask. Her mind is fighting between wanting you and trying to protect herself from wanting you too much. But the deepest sign is curiosity. When a woman is thinking about you nonstop, she becomes curious about every detail of your life, not in a desperate way, but in a quiet, emotional way. She'll want to know where you are. She'll want to know who you're with. She'll remember your goals, your dreams, your fears, and your contradictions. She'll pay attention to your habits, your routines, and your energy shifts. And without realizing it, she'll start aligning her emotional world around your presence, even when she tells herself she shouldn't. She may distance herself, but she watches everything. She may stay silent, but she notices everything. She may pretend she's fine, but she feels everything. A woman thinks about a man non-stop only when he activated an emotional part of her she can't shut off. And the moment that activation happens, she's hooked. Not on your appearance, not on your messages, not on your confidence, but on the feeling she gets when she imagines you with her. And if you've reached that point in her mind, she's already deeper into you than she's willing to confess. One of the clearest signs she's thinking about you nonstop is when her behavior becomes inconsistent in ways you can't logically explain. She becomes warm, then cold, engaged, then distant, curious, then withdrawn. Most men misread this as disinterest or emotional immaturity, but in reality, it's internal conflict. She's thinking about you far more often than she's comfortable with, and part of her wants to lean in, while another part is terrified of wanting you too much. A woman who can't stop thinking about you struggles with emotional control. You'll notice she takes longer to reply, not because she doesn't care, but because she overthinks everything. She rewrites the message. She deletes the message. She hesitates because she doesn't want to say something that reveals how she truly feels. She wants you to think she's calm, collected, untouched, but inside she's anything but. Her emotional tells start slipping. She asks questions she doesn't need the answers to. She brings up topics that lead back to you. She remembers tiny details that even you forgot you mentioned. And there's a moment where she tries to pull away, not because she lost interest, but because she realizes she's already losing control over the way she feels. The psychological truth is this. When a woman can't stop thinking about a man, emotional patterns that reveal her, she tries to re-regulate herself by creating distance. She wants to test if she can go without you. She wants to see if she can break the emotional loop. But the more she tries to disconnect, the more tightly her mind clings to the idea of you. And that's why she always circles back. That's why she watches your story. Or that's why she sends a random message. That's why she asks how you've been, even when she pretends she was just curious. Another sign is emotional sensitivity. She reacts stronger to your words than she does to other men. If you take long to reply, she overthinks it. If you sound too different, she feels it. If you seem distant, she wonders if she did something wrong. You occupy emotional real estate in her mind, and she measures her value through your responses without even realizing she's doing it. Then there's the subconscious mirroring. She may start picking up your phrases, your humor, your patterns of speech. She might adopt your interests or show sudden enthusiasm for things she never cared about before. It's not manipulation. It's emotional resonance. When a woman thinks about a man, often her mind naturally aligns with his energy. She becomes more attentive, more intuitive, more synchronized with who he is. But one of the strongest, most undeniable signs is when she gets protective of your attention. She won't say it out loud. She won't admit it. But she'll subtly react when she thinks another woman has your interest. Her mood changes. Her tone shifts. Her replies get shorter or strangely enthusiastic, depending on the emotion she's trying to hide. Jealousy is a powerful indicator, but it appears quietly when a woman thinks about you nonstop. She's not obsessed with your presence. She's obsessed with the emotional experience she attaches to you. And that emotional experience is what keeps replaying inside her mind. Hours after the conversation ends, days after the silence begins, weeks after she tries to move on. When a woman is emotionally invested, she can't hide it for long. Her words may lie, her silence may pretend, but her patterns always tell the truth. The next layer goes deeper than behavior. It goes into her emotional psychology, into the way a woman's mind attaches itself to a man she can't stop thinking about. Most men underestimate the intensity of a woman's emotional memory. Once a woman feels something powerful with you, trust, attraction, safety, excitement, that feeling embeds itself into her subconscious. She doesn't choose it, she doesn't control it. It happens naturally and it stays longer than she wants it to. A woman thinks about a man nonstop when he triggers her emotional imagination. This is the space where she plays out scenarios, fantasies, possibilities, and conversations in her mind involving you. She imagines what you would do, how you would react, what you would say. Emotional imagination becomes emotional attachment, even if you haven't spoken in days. And this is where her behavior starts reflecting her inner world. She begins comparing every other man to you, not because she's trying to, but because her mind is measuring emotional resonance. If another man makes her laugh, she wonders if he can make her laugh like you did. If someone compliments her, she wonders why it doesn't hit the same. If someone new tries to get close, she realizes she doesn't feel the same spark. And this comparison loop is one of the strongest signs she's thinking about you constantly. Another powerful sign is emotional triggers. A song, a scent, the deep psychology behind her thoughts, place, a phrase, anything connected to you activates her emotions instantly. She could be having a normal day, but something reminds her of you, and suddenly she's spiraling back into memories of your presence. Women feel through association, and every emotional trigger pulls her deeper into the thought of you. And then comes resistance, her attempt to suppress these feelings. She tells herself she's over you. She tells herself she shouldn't care. She tells herself she needs to move on. But the harder she tries to fight her thoughts, the stronger they grow. Suppressed emotion always becomes amplified emotion. And she knows that. She feels that, but she can't stop it. This is why she keeps checking your profile without interacting. This is why she reappears after disappearing. This is why she shows random bursts of interest. Her mind can't disconnect from the emotional experience you created in her. And no matter how much she tries to distract herself, the emotional pull brings her back. One of the most telling signs is emotional projection. She might act irritated, cold, distant, or dismissive, but these reactions come from wanting you more than she's comfortable admitting. A woman who truly doesn't care doesn't act defensive. She doesn't act emotional. She doesn't pay attention. The presence of emotion, any emotion, is evidence of thought. And the stronger the emotion, the more often you're living ranchery in her mind. But the deepest sign is vulnerability. When a woman starts revealing personal things, her fears, her dreams, her insecurities, that is not casual conversation. That is emotional trust. And emotional trust is the foundation of emotional attachment. If she opened that door even once, she hasn't forgotten it. She hasn't closed it. She hasn't moved past it. A woman thinks about a man nonstop when he touches her on an emotional level she didn't expect, and she can't replicate with anyone else. There's a final sign that blends everything together, a sign that reveals she is thinking about you far more than she lets on. Emotional gravity. This is when her energy naturally pulls back toward you. Even after distance, even after silence, even after arguments or misunderstandings, she finds herself wanting to hear from you. Even when she tells herself she shouldn't, she catches herself looking for your name in her notifications. She replays old conversations because they still make her feel something. And she wonders what you're doing, who you're with, and whether you ever think of her too. Emotional gravity is powerful because it overrides logic. A woman can talk herself out of texting you, but she can't talk herself out of thinking about you. She can distract herself with work or friends, but the distraction doesn't last. She can try to move on, but something always feels incomplete. This is because her emotions attach to you in a way she didn't plan, and emotional. Attachment doesn't detach easily. Another undeniable sign is emotional timing. She reaches out at moments when she feels emotionally exposed. Late at night, early in the morning, or during moments of vulnerability, the final sign, and she can't stop thinking about you. Women don't reach out at those times unless someone is truly on their mind. And even if she doesn't message, She might hover, check your profile, or linger around your presence waiting for a sign from you. Then there's emotional consistency. Even if she distances herself, her energy always returns. Even if she acts uninterested, she still reacts emotionally to you. Even if she tries to move on, she struggles to connect with anyone else on the same emotional level. And this is the truth most men never realize. If a woman is thinking about you nonstop, her heart is already ahead of her mind. Her emotions have already made the decision. Her logic is trying to undo. You'll also notice emotional softness. The way she speaks to you becomes gentler. The way she looks at you becomes more meaningful. The way she responds to you feels more personal. She may not say it, but her eyes, her tone, her attention, they reveal everything. Women express affection through emotional presence long before they express it through words. One more powerful sign is emotional memories. When she can recall your habits, your interests, your preferences, or specific things you said, it means she was deeply paying attention. A woman only memorizes what matters to her emotionally. If she remembers the little things she's been thinking about you long after the moment's passed, but the strongest sign of all is fear. Fear of losing the connection, fear of misreading things, fear of wanting you more than you want her. That fear is not weakness, that fear is emotional investment. Fear only exists when someone matters. So if she shows these signs, understand this. She's thinking about you far more intensely than she wants you to know. She's replaying the idea of you, the energy of you, the presence of you, and question for you, plus like and subscribe. She's wrestling with emotions she didn't expect to feel. Now, I want to ask you something real. Which sign from this video hit you the hardest? And do you think she's been thinking about you too? Drop your answer in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to